Hello, Gold Derbyites. Welcome back to another edition of Awards Magnet. Your second this Friday, as we're doing a two-part special episode blowout in honor of the Golden Globes, which are going to be announced on Monday. We previously did our TV picks, and now we're doing our film picks, since the Golden Globes loves to mash both TV and movies up. I'm Deputy Editor Ethan Alter, and I'm joined by our senior editors, Kevin P. Sullivan and Mia McNeese. Welcome, both.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. Here we go. We're recording this on a Thursday. You're going to be hearing it on a Friday, and then we'll see on Monday how we did. And we'll be back on Monday to tell you how we did with our instant reactions once the Globes are announced bright and early at the one wonderful hour of 5 a.m. your time, 8 a.m. my time. So it's I hope you're ready. I hope you plan to sleep in or get to bed early on Sunday night.
I'm just going to sleep all weekend. I think that's my goal.
Lots of
48
coffee.
hours straight.
Yeah.
Exactly. There we go. All right. Well, before we dive into our final film predictions, I do want to read a disclaimer that we include on all our coverage of the Golden Globes, and that is Golden Globes producer Dick Clark Productions is owned by Penske Media Eldridge, a joint venture between Eldridge and Penske Media Corporation, which also owns Gold Derby. So that acknowledgement is up front, and let us dive in to our predictions. Leading off with Best Film Drama. All right, Mia, what are your current? We should say there are 6 picks in every category. So what are your 6 picks right now? Go Monday.
Okay, this is a little bit of a tough one, but I'm gonna go with Sinners, followed by Hamnet, Sentimental Value. I think Frankenstein's gonna get in there. I'm gonna go and say Avatar and Train Dreams. Okay, that's going to be my 6. We'll see. Yeah.
Great. Kevin, how about yourself?
I agree with Mia on Sinners.
Stop the presses. Stop.
No.
Please say it again. Oh, on Sinners. Okay.
Yeah, just add a caveat on Sinners.
Okay, yeah. We forgot that part.
I can run through my rest, and I think the differences here kind of get at a key question for me. With Best Picture in particular. So I've got Sinners, I've got It Was Just an Accident, Hamnet, Sentimental Value, The Secret Agent, and Frankenstein. I am going heavy on international features here. I think the makeup of the Globes has changed quite a bit, and so there has traditionally been international bent to some of these nominations, but I think this year in particular is really interesting because you have a really, really strong international field. And in some of these, especially in the case of It Was Just an Accident, you have figures like Jafar Panahi, who are making headlines, and it's very current events. And I do think you could see some of these films breaking into Best Picture at the Oscars, and I also think maybe here you really start to feel the strength of the field on the international side.
No, I think that's a good point. The international films are particularly strong this year, and certainly I think we're going to see that reflected when Oscar nominations are announced. I'm going to join both of you in putting Sinners at my number 1 as well. I think that's I think that one has just been the way that film has come back from being a spring blockbuster that people really liked to being a true awards contender has been really something to see, and I'm very happy that it has, that people didn't forget about it. They bided their time, they waited through the summer. And when they reintroduced it, people were ready, receptive, and you can see how much love there is for that film. So I think that's going to be a very strong competitor in the Globes and beyond. Mia, my number 2 is also Hamnet. I'm there with you. Those two are very close together. I'm for the international side. It Was Just an Accident is number 3 for me. That film in general, I think you'll see. I've sort of retriggered another big category based on how well that film has been doing and some of the precursor things. The excitement around that film feels very real. Number 4. I still have Avatar 3 hanging in there. I think there's enough. I think that's the 800-pound blockbuster gorilla in the room, especially since Wicked is over in a different genre. And then Sentimental Value is my number 5, and Train Dreams is the little movie that could, sneaking in at number 6. So sounds like we're mostly on the same page. Kevin, you have The Secret Agent as the one bonus international feature in our drama race.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that in actor drama, not to get ahead of ourselves, but I think that is a really special movie that as more and more people get exposed to it, I think it could have a nice impact here.
Totally. Well, let's roll right into drama actor in that case. So yeah. Take us away, Kevin.
I think this is my wild swing of the predictions here. I mean, obviously we're just talking about nominations, but the person I'm really looking at here is Wagner Moura. An incredible performance. Someone who's been doing really steady work for such a long time, but he carries this movie in such a quiet and profound way. Just really strong movie star energy. Speaking of movie stars, we've got Michael B. Jordan as my number 2, Joel Edgerton, Train Dreams, Oscar Isaac from Frankenstein. Dwayne Johnson, I think, for the Smashing Machine, could still show up here. That is a really good performance that I think has gotten some short shrift because of the narrative of how the movie performed at the box office. And then we got Jeremy Allen White for Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere.
How about yourself, Bia?
Yeah, I actually line up with Kevin, except I would switch out Dwayne Johnson for Will Arnett in Is This Thing On? I think that his performance is really, he does a great job of kind of balancing humor and sadness and his arc of his character. I kind of feel like he might get a bit more attention at the Globes than even he would at the Oscars. But as far as the others, I agree. Michael B. Jordan and Joel Edgerton and even Jeremy Allen White for what he did in that film. I'm kind of on the same page as Kevin for those ones.
Yeah. It's interesting. This category got really scrambled when One Battle After Another moved into comedy musical, because I think a lot of people were having Leonardo DiCaprio up there early on, and now suddenly it's like, oh wait, now we've created a lot more open slots as a result of that switch. So I found myself, when I had to go back and do it again, being like, oh man, what does this open up? What possibilities does this open up? But mostly I have most of the same names that are on both of your lists. I do have Dwayne Johnson. I do think, especially with Leo moving away, I think that creates a room for him to get recognized. The Globes traditionally likes to recognize the sort of popular contenders, even if their movies don't always do as commercially successful as others do. He's a big presence. They'd love to have him in the room at the biggest party of the year. So I think he gets in for that reason. And then the other person I'm added to my list, way down number 6, is Russell Crowe for Nuremberg. I think that movie is sort of been an under the radar movie since its Toronto debut, where it did fairly well. It got a standing ovation there.
I'm a little surprised to hear that. I feel like Nuremberg has been so quiet in terms of just how, in terms of people discussing it. I think it was a bit of an odd proposition to go back to that subject matter, especially Nuremberg, when there is such a famous movie made from it. But I'd be interested to see if it gets in.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think as a movie it's particularly strong, but I have heard people talk about his performance, just specifically being impressed by him, because Russell Crowe's been he's been working steadily, but I feel like he hasn't really delivered a fully dramatic performance in a couple years that people have really. He's done Exorcist movies, he's done Thor: Love and Thunder, but this is a return sort of to the dramas that he was doing in the mid 2000s, and I've heard from people who have seen it that they really like him in it. So it's consider that, again, because a slot opened up thanks to Leo moving, I think that creates an opportunity for someone like a Russell Crowe, who probably otherwise wouldn't have got recognized, for people to take a closer look at him. All right, let's jump to actress. Mia, who are your actress picks?
So let's see. For the drama actress, let me pull mine up. Sorry about that. We have, I think it's gonna be Jessie. I don't even know why I had to look and pull it up. I think that she will definitely, do you guys disagree, or do you have?
No, she's although it is interesting, so far she has yet to put a win on the scoreboard for any of the early ceremonies that have come out there. Now, those tend to break different ways anyway. New York Film Critics picked Rose Byrne. The Gothams have a non-gender category and went with the lead actor from My Father's Shadow. So she hasn't technically won any statue yet for a part that everyone thought she'd win everything in sight. So that is interesting. But I do think the Globe will most likely go her way, for sure. I do think that's a little more of a standard pick for the Globes.
I think so too. I also saw Laura Dern was pretty high up on our predictions. So, and she's just so loved within the Hollywood community and, doing great work. So I'm curious to see what will happen there. But I think this one is going to go to Jessie.
Yeah. I guess I should jump in probably. I'm still waking up from covering Spirit Awards, I guess. So yes, I agree on Jessie. I think I think we also saw some of the Shakespeare you were talking about with One Battle moving into comedy. Um, some I think there are a few candidates here that um, were really strong performances in good movies that I don't know if they've landed exactly how they were intended. And I think what I'm mainly thinking of Jennifer Lawrence and Don My Love and Tessa Thompson and Hedda. I do think they get in. I think those are really strong performances. With movies that are a little harder to, they're a little less accessible if still quite successful. And then I also think Julia Roberts gets in for After the Hunt, which was another Amazon release in the case of Hedda, but a movie that is difficult, is very closed off by design, and that character even more so than the movie itself. It's not a kind of performance we have really seen from her, and I thought it was really interesting, and I do think I see her getting in here.
It's interesting. They were both at Julia Roberts and Luca Guadagnino were both at the Gothams accepting a tribute award beforehand, and there was almost a feel of like, oh, this is the end of our awards road because of the mixed reaction around the film. But certainly, a Globe could bring it back in and be the actual punctuation. It's hard to see Julia necessarily making a leap to Oscar, but Globes, especially with 6 slots to fill in drama, for sure, is a possibility, I think. Let's see, some of the other names I have on my list. Renat Renciv from Sentimental Value, I think, is someone who I think will be definitely in the final 6. I also have Tessa Thompson. It's been interesting to me. She has been very present throughout all the precursor ceremonies. She's often mentioned and cited in a lot of the in the lead performance nomination. So I do think she'll end up there as well. I also have Laura Dern, and then the star of the film, the voice of Hind Rajab, which is an independently released film about the Israel-Hamas conflict. The star of that I have as number 5. That film has been bubbling up as a contender in several categories, and I could see the star of that potentially moving into to the lead actress race here. And then here, this is a wild card pick. I have no real confidence in this, but just thinking about the Globes and their sort of like their party of the year status, they want to highlight celebrities. They like having people there. I don't know. Part of me thinks they might put Sydney Sweeney on there at number 6. Just they have Sydney.
Wow!
They have Sydney Sweeney in the room, and she brings all the publicity with her and all the eyeballs with her to the Globe. So again, not confident in that pick, but with 6 slots to fill, they have the transformation narrative they can run with. There might be a possibility that she gets that number 6 slot. That's so just floating that out there as my last thing. I won't call it a pick.
I see that, but I
think.
Yeah, I just think after the reviews and kind of the reaction from the film, I don't see it happening, but I get what you're saying about the buzz and, her performance in that, but I don't think she's going to make it in there.
Right. No, and more specifically, just the publicity it would bring to have Sydney Sweeney in the house. But maybe she'll come anyway. I mean, she might just be invited anyway and show up.
Yeah.
Exactly. She'll be a presenter, right? But yeah,
and maybe give some interviews that people will really, really calm about and not stir up any kind of controversy. Yeah, I can see it.
Right. Exactly. All right. Well, let's hop over to the comedy musical category. As you said, this got a shake up when One Battle after Another moved over there, and also Marty Supreme is in this category instead of in drama. So that'll be so suddenly the comedy musical race has gotten a lot more intense and I think interesting than we may have initially thought going in. So Mia, lead us off. What are your comedy musical picks?
This will be a battle between One Battle and Marty Supreme, I think, for this one for sure, but don't count out Wicked, obviously, as well. So this is a really, I think, kind of exciting category because there's such great films that are going up against each other. So I think those will definitely be the top 3. But then as far as like the remainder ones, I don't know. I mean, Begonia, obviously, I think Yorgos is... they're a fan of his and of Emma's, so I could see that getting in. Jay Kelly has a big star-studded cast. They want George Clooney there. I could see that getting in as well. Same with No Other Choice. And Ethan, I know one of your favorites, Testament of Anne Lee, could round that out as well. So this is a fun category because I think there are so many great films that could be nominated.
Yeah, 100%. Kevin, any additions from besides the one we mentioned?
I think the only one I would sub in is Wake Up Dead Man, which I think is a really good movie. I'm putting it there almost just as a kind of a test case to see, as Rian Johnson keeps making Benoit Blanc movies and these keep coming out, I think there is almost this kind of numbing effect of like, oh, you made a really immaculately conceived mystery movie with great performances and an ensemble, and it's like it's it's more of the same, but it's a good movie came out. And so it's interesting to see as we've had more and more of these movies kind of come out, how they've been received. And I think there was an argument to be made that Wake Up Dead Man is if not the best one, easily the second best of the series. Having seen Marty Supreme now, the comedy the comedy categorization is seems a little bit more wild to me.
A bathtub falls through the floor. Come on, that's
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah.
It's
On
solid
Abel
comedy.
Ferreira, who's the scariest man in the world.
Right.
There was I think just I'm covering Marty Supreme for Gold Derby. It's on my beat, and it's just the idea of being face to face with Abel Ferreira was so frightening to me, because I'm sure he's a wonderful guy, but the character he plays is terrifying in the movie. And I know it's interesting to have those two in one battle and Marty up top, because there is an argument to be made that they could have gone either way in terms of comedy or drama. I think one battle structurally with Leonardo DiCaprio as the main character fumbling his way through the movie does plant it firmly in comedy. There are funny moments in Marty Supreme, but it's so stressful that it's almost just as a release valve. But those two are easily some of the best movies of the year, and I see those as the two top contenders here.
They're both stressful. I mean, if there was a category on which one is most stressful, like that would be a tie right there. They should form a new category, like which film gives you the most anxiety, and
Right.
they would win. Yeah.
Well, so I think that certainly the reason probably One Battle did decide to go comedy musical is Warner Brothers has that and Sinners, and this allows them to avoid putting those movies directly against each other, and I think it'll benefit. I mean, I think both films have a serious chance of winning both of those categories, and so Warner Brothers ends up the big winner of the night. They have the two best movies of the year, one in comedy musical and one in drama. They didn't have to worry about having them go head to head and cancel each other out. So I think that the logic certainly makes sense from their angle right there. Even as you're wondering, like, is One Battle really a comedy? How much did I laugh throughout? And yeah, for me, I should just say most of my picks are the same as yours, slightly different order, but otherwise we're thinking along the same lines for sure. And I also have Jay Kelly as the Netflix movie over Wake Up Dead Man here. I think the Hollywood love for that one and the industry satire, such as it is in the movie, will put that one into contention for me. Let's look at actress. Kevin, who are your actress picks in the musical comedy?
My actress picks are Rose Byrne, Emma Stone, Cynthia Erivo, Chase Infinity, Amanda Seyfried, and Kate Hudson. I think Rose is on a bit of a comeback streak after early festival screenings of If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You were really strong, and she was kind of identified as a top contender here. And I think you've seen some of that strength come back as some of these precursors have kind of rolled out. And she is really well positioned. I think my big question here is, are we going to start seeing kind of a cumulative awarding effect for Wicked for Good? Because Cynthia Erivo is a big part of why those movies were as successful as they were. So that's kind of what I'm keeping my eye out for. But I do think Rose has it is my favorite here.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of it's just actually based on the last few days and all of the attention and awards Rose has been getting. I would put her higher up than I had been originally. I thought it was going to be Cynthia for sure, and now I'm not so sure. I think Rose has, and then also taking into account the last few days of awards. I just don't think we can count out Chase, because One Battle After Another has been just winning everything with the National Board Review. Gotham's, they've been just getting so much attention. So I really think those three have a great chance. it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I think those are kind of the top three in that category.
Right, for sure. I'm sticking with my Cynthia pick. I still see her as winning a lot of awards for this as the conclusion to the Wicked saga. But the Rose Byrne comeback is happening. She won New York Film Critics Circle. She won the National Board of Review yesterday as well. So clearly people are seeing her movie, which is great because it's a very small, challenging movie. But she certainly deserves attention, and it's clearly gaining traction. So I think that's a good sign. So she'll certainly be among the contenders. We'll see if a win is possible, but definitely, and another movie that is borderline.
I was going to say,
it's
hilarious.
It's a tough one. There is one very funny scene involving a hamster that, again, is probably the funniest scene in the movie. But a lot of around it, you have to be putting up with a lot of intense tension and stress watching it. Otherwise,
it's the year of musical and nervous laughter comedy, and I mean Conan O'Brien is there, and I think just his presence alone is funny to me. So
not telling any jokes. That's what's great. That's the joke is that Conan O'Brien will not tell any jokes throughout the movie. Just be stone faced throughout. All right. Well, let's jump over to a comedy musical actor where there are some actual comedies in the mix. I'll start off here with Timothée Chalamet, who I think is definitely the leading contender right now to win this. And he gets to be funny, he gets to be awful, he gets to be big throughout Marty Supreme. It's a movie I don't entirely love. I have some issues with it, but I think he's very good in it. It's a great part for him, and again, legitimately funny at times, in addition to being stressful. I also have Leo in the mix over here. Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, who's been on a bit of a tear recently. I think he gets in. George Clooney for Jay Kelly. Lee Byung-hun for No Other Choice. And then Hugh Jackman for Song Sung Blue, just based on how much the Globes love him, and he'll show up anywhere and sing Neil Diamond at the drop of a hat. So that'll be great to have at the Globes. Mia, how about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a Timothy one as well, but I think, Leonardo DiCaprio I have. Also Ethan Hawke, I think, for Blue Moon, and great performance in that. He's getting a lot of buzz. I really think he has a really good chance. Same with George Clooney. I also think Brendan Fraser for Rental Family could get in this category. He's getting praise for his performance in that film. The film is beloved, so I think that he has a shot as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. I went back and forth on him and Hugh for my number 6 spot. Eventually, I landed on Hugh, but I wouldn't be surprised if Brendan got it as well. Both of those are very close in my mind. I went with Hugh because of the singing. They want a song and dance man. He's there to provide that.
Right.
Kevin, any additions for you? Anyone we haven't mentioned?
Yeah, I think I've also got Timmy up top, but I think it's the number 6 slot that I think could be interesting. I've got Daniel Craig kind of along the same lines as Wake Up Dead Man in best film. Yeah, it's good work. It's work people have seen before, and I think it's a question of whether it still feels novel. I think it's incredible. It's movie star acting at its finest. And he shows a lot of range in Wake Up Dead Man, so I would love to see him get in. I also have Jesse Plemons in Begonia, which I don't know if anyone else mentioned. He's just become such a reliable hand that, yeah, I'd love to see him get in here, but this does seem to be a two-man race at this point, between 2 generations of skinny, cute boys, be it Leonardo DiCaprio and Timothée Chalamet. And it will be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's jump to the supporting categories. And here, comedy and musical and drama smashed together. So it's not just, they're not divvied up as much. We have comedy and drama exist alongside each other. Mia, why don't you give us your supporting actress picks?
Yeah, well, I mean, we have to mention Ariana. I think she's got a great chance. I think, the second Wicked really showed kind of more of a range of her character and her performance. But I really think in the last few days, too, Amy Madigan is really kind of gaining traction. She's got obviously a lot of buzz for that role. I could see her getting in for sure. Ella Fanning for Sentimental Value. As well as Tiana Taylor. Her performance is undeniable in One Battle After Another. I just know that, some people were arguing that she kind of disappears in the second half and that might hurt her chances. But the parts that she is in is just so powerful that I think she'll get in as well.
Kevin, how about yourself?
Yeah, great category. I'm agreeing with Amy Madigan. I think that is. I think I've said it on this podcast before. Some of the best acting I've ever seen, and I think Weapons is probably not the type of movie to get the love it deserves from the from the awards bodies that we're discussing. But I think just the power of that performance it pretty makes it pretty much undeniable. The A lot of the same names here: Tiana Taylor, Ariana Grande. I've also got Wunmi Mosako, who I think is phenomenal in Sinners, a recent winner. Was that the Gothams or
Yep, she won. Yeah, that's best supporting performance of the Gothams.
And then I also have Odessa Azian from Mari Supreme, which is kind of just a sucker punch of a performance. She's currently on I Love LA, and I think really kind of coming out of the gate hot. Just to go toe to toe with Chalamet in the mode that he's in Marty Supreme is such a feat. And I do think if the Globes has any inclination towards kind of crowning new arrivals, I think this is one we should keep an eye on.
No, that's a good pick for sure. Odessa was someone I thought about for sure. I moved Wunmi. I had Wunmi in my mix already, but I actually moved her up after the Gothams win. I do think she's going to ride the Sinners wave into a lot of these races now. I have Amy on there as well because I agree. I think she is the dark horse that could really win all of this once we get to the major awards, especially. I think she has a really strong shot. And then my number 6 slot again, because we have this extra 6 just floating out there, and I just couldn't forget what the Globes used to be and how they used to honor again the people who other people necessarily wouldn't. So I'm going to put J-Lo on here at number 6 for Kiss of the Spider Woman. They recognized her for Hustlers when no one else did a few years ago. So there is a history of them recognizing J-Lo in these categories. Again, very different version of the Globes when that happened. So it is not at all a definite. This is definitely happening, but I can't help but think maybe this is the one place where J-Lo shows up in the race. There is that history with her in the Globes. So I'm putting.
I think that is incredibly smart, and I think maybe. There should be a 7th slot at the Globes of we just want them to be at the party, like just a tip of the hat to the old days of the.
Right, exactly. When you could count on that person who you knew would get the night started, being the first on the floor at the after party to kick things off. All right, let's go over to best supporting actor. Kevin, what are your best supporting actor picks?
My best supporting actor picks are Benicio del Toro, Stellan Skarsgård, Adam Sandler, Sean Penn, Jacob Elordi, and Paul Mescal. What has been really interesting for for people like us who are paying such close attention to these races, how quickly within in the course of a week, Benicio del Toro has just become a powerhouse in this category as like just charting the conversation around one battle, people coming out of that screen being like, oh, wow, Sean Penn is just absolutely transformational. And then, like a week later being like, who else is really good in that? Benicio del Toro. And then it's kind of, as the, just a few beers meme has, grown on, and I think people just love Sensei Sergio so much. He really has become a really kind of heavy favorite here, which is very interesting. And I'm happy to see it, but I'm curious to see what you all are saying.
Yeah, I was actually going to say Benicio is kind of becoming my top choice for this category. Obviously, he was great in it. And like Kevin said, he's just been, as the buzz is growing and the awards are coming out, he's just getting more and more attention for this role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. He's someone I keep thinking, should I move up? He's at my number 4 spot right now, and I keep thinking that I'm still holding on to Stellan just because Stellan Skarsgård has been the sort of Jesse Buckley of this category since Sentimental Value debuted. So I'm not quite ready to give up on that yet. But the Benicio love is real, and it really is coming along. The other spoiler I've been thinking of, just based on the way he's been working the circuit and the reactions received, is Jacob Elordi, who's my number 3 right now for Frankenstein, and I could very well see him vaulting in as the new. Not so much a new discovery because he's been around since Euphoria, but it's a career transforming performance in more ways than one. And I could see that getting recognition as a result. So he's someone right now who's slightly above Benicio for me, but I wouldn't be surprised if Benicio keeps rising as these other precursors roll in and he keeps winning those. And poor Sean Penn, he was the one that entered the season. He was all anyone was talking about early on. And he'll have to content himself with the 2 Oscars he already has, I guess.
He doesn't even want those.
And do you guys see Adam getting? I mean, Adam Sandler, I think, has a really good chance here too with the Globes,
Yeah.
voters. I think that they're, they love his performance, and I could see him getting up there and, doing a funny speech, or, I don't know. I think he might have a great chance too.
No, he's my number 6 J-Lo spot as well. I have him on
Uh,
there. That's the guy you want at the party. So yeah, I definitely have to get him in there.
I don't even think it's the guy you want at the party, though. I mean, I think it's like that is actually like a great performance by him, and I don't know. I think that he may get it, but I also agree. Jacob, nomination. Paul Mescal, definitely deserves the nomination as well.
Right, for sure. All right, over in Best Director, as I alluded to earlier, I shook up my rankings in a lot of these categories recently since Jafar Panahi has just been on a roll. He's been winning everything, showing up in a lot of different ceremonies, and I think the love surrounding the film, the way the film has been embraced, and also just his personal story about having been in an Iranian prison, a baseless, having to make this film in secret. He just got sentenced to another prison term in absentia. He's living in France now, but so if he returns home, he risks being put back in prison. I think the story surrounding him in the film, in addition to the film itself, which I should also say is very, very good and certainly deserving of all its acclaim. I think for me, he's really shot up to my number 1 spot right now. I think he to me is the director to beat, even with such big names as Coogler, who's on my list, Paul Thomas Anderson, who's on my list, Chloe Zhao. I don't know. I just feel like the momentum behind this film and Jafar Panahi in general is very real.
Yeah, I just moved him up to number 1 as well. I think that there's an opportunity here to really kind of single out, I mean, to celebrate the film itself, but also to single out him just as a career filmmaker, and then what he has gone through specifically to make this movie. Yeah, it does seem like a really, really powerful narrative in support of a very, very good movie.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think this is a tough category, though. I mean, you can't, when you think about what Guillermo did with Frankenstein, or Josh with Marty Supreme. I mean, these are like such big undertakings and such great films that I think this one's tough. I was gonna, have Paul Thomas Anderson up there at the top, but he has really tough competition, I think, in this category.
No, great. Did anyone else put John M. Chu on there? He's my number 6 as for the wicked of it all. Anyone else has John Chu in the mix?
I was going to say he'd probably take my 6th spot as well. I think. Yeah. I think if you kind of encapsulate both films too, perhaps he would get in, but I think he's in the 6th spot right now.
Yeah, that's where he sits for me, number 6.
I don't have him. I got Joachim Trier and Josh Safdie as 5 and 6. Him not getting in for part 1, or John M. Chu not getting in for part 1, I think is kind of the end of the story for me. And I mean, there's so many good competitors here. It's hard to see him getting in for me.
Right.
And then you have like you have like Clint Bentley for Train Dreams, this little, engine that could. And then you have in this category James Cameron for like the biggest film that you can. It's just like the variety that you have in this category is really impressive. And it'll kind of just be what, curious to see what the voters decide.
For sure. Well, let's roll right into, since we're on the international beat with Panahi, let's roll right into Best Non-English Language Film. Mia, what are your picks here?
Yeah, for this one, I think it's Sentimental Value, The Secret Agent, and it was just an accident of the top 3. No other choice as well has been, but these have been, the top since they came out, and they've remained in the top, and they're all strong films. So I don't really see much, change within those. I don't even really know, what a surprise one would be in this category, because I think these have been such solid choices since the beginning.
Kevin, any surprises you see?
No, I think what was it? The 6th spot is going to be interesting because it is. The competition is so stiff. I think in terms of the odds right now in Gold Derby, Sound of Falling has a slight edge over Surat, but I do think I see Surat getting in over Sound of Falling, just as a little bit more approachable film. But yeah, these are all really well-made movies, really approachable movies. That I think this is kind of where my head's at in terms of what I'm interested in terms of the overall kind of awards landscape and how much we see these films getting into the top categories.
My one potential spoiler is again the film Voice of Hindrajab, which I think again has been building buzz. It could be the version of No Other Land, the documentary that won last year that also dealt with the Israel-Hamas conflict and was self-distributed, wound up going all the way and winning the Oscar for Best Documentary. So I could see the timeliness of that film as enough people have to see it for it to reach that kind of critical mass. But that's the one spoiler I see making its way into the category. Not sure if it'll actually win, but I think it'll be represented somewhere in the six. All right, let's do best film screenplay. Down to the last two. Kevin, what are your screenplay picks?
My screenplay picks are One Battle After Another, Sinners, Hamnet, Sentimental Value, Marty Supreme, and It Was Just an Accident. Yeah, I mean, combining adapted and original screenplay, this is where it gets harder than pretty much any other category for the Globes. If you're looking at some of the top contenders, I do have One Battle ranked as number one right now, just as just a really stunning piece of adaptation that does feel wholly original. But you really can't lose. You really can't lose here. But yeah, I think again you're seeing do we see international films getting into screenplay, which is not something you always see.
Yeah, mine are very similar to Kevin's. I just would add in Jay Kelly as well. I saw this film twice, and then the second time when I was really kind of hit with some of these, with the lines that Noah Baumbach and Emily Mortimer did. And it was just, it actually, when I saw it for the second time, I was able to kind of digest it and really take in the dialogue. And some of these lines are so powerful. I think that might have a good chance as well.
I have no other choice as another possible here. I could see that getting in as a screenplay as international. And then my number one, actually right now I have Sinners at my number one. I think the story behind because of it being an original screenplay coming out of Ryan Coogler's head, that film has a difficult race in director, but I could see him winning for screenplay as the sort of alternative to him winning director. So that's my number one right now. But Paul Thomas Anderson, very close behind. All right, and then last one. Let's end on some cartoons, and I think probably all of us would say K-pop is number one. Are we all thinking K-pop is the movie to beat, or are there any Elio fans still out there, or what are the other possibilities?
Well, Zootopia 2 just did such an amazing, box office, and I think that, and also got great reviews critically as well. But I think it's going to be challenging for the bunny and the fox to beat the demon hunters, because that one has been on the top of the charts and has been getting a lot as well. So I think it'll be close, but I think it will go to K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, I don't think I see this going any other way. But yeah, anything that helps, particularly EJ, the song co-writer of Golden, on her way to an Oscar. That is the most personally invested awards race I have this year. Nothing else matters. Let's get EJ an Oscar, and if this helps, so be it.
Love it. I think you should be invited on tour when Huntress goes on tour.
I mean, that was literally the biggest surprise of the Golden Globes for me. It was Kevin's love of this. I didn't know.
I swear to God, if you watch an interview with EJ talking about her trying to be a K-pop star, not making it, and then having this happen, it is just it is irresistible.
Oh, we love it. Yeah, so it's a great rags to riches story, and part of the so many great narratives surrounding K-pop Demon Hunters. But her rise and just the way it crossed over from a fictional band to a real band is wonderful to see. So yeah,
more heartwarming than Jason Bateman as a fox, you guys. I mean.
That's true.
Witty, fun fox. Come on.
Well, crossover. We'll get the Demon Hunters go to Zootopia, and we'll get like a big Shakira can be in there too. We'll get a Shakira Huntrix duet. Perfect. Like we've just solved it. All the world's problems are
You're welcome.
Yes, thanks, Mia. Right. All right. Well, those are our Golden Globe film predictions. Check in on Monday to see how right or wrong we were. Whether the J-Lo factor does show up again, if she gets invited to the party, and who else shows up. And we will be back on Monday with our reactions to the nominations after they're announced, and to account and look ahead to the Globes in January. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a good weekend. Take care, everyone.
Thanks for listening to Awards Magnet, Gold Derby Podcast. Like what you heard? Leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Awards Magnet is produced by Andrew Merrill. Our logo is designed by Chelsea Sakura. Please like and subscribe to stay on top of all the awards news, and email us at awardsmagnet@goldderby.com.